The GSA has offices throughout the USA, kind of the landlord of the federal government. They are responsible for all the buildings throughout the system. And they provide the acquisition or buying office for government offices, government agencies that don't have their own buyers. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, of course, has many, many buyers. I used to be one. But there are a lot of federal agencies and a lot of federal offices that don't have buyers, and so they provide the buying capability. Now, GSA contract, what's in it for you? The federal government spends billions of dollars on things. The federal government, trillions of dollars. The federal government is a business that has to stay open. The federal government cannot go broke, cannot sell off its assets. The federal government is here to stay. They are a business, just like any business. They need goods and services from contractors. So they oversee, the GSA oversees a lot of these acquisitions. And these purchases come from companies just like yours. Small businesses, large businesses, businesses in between. It's everywhere. It's in not only at, here around Wright-Patterson, it's in all 50 states and around the world. The federal government is everywhere. And they have offices, they have facilities that need goods and services on a continuing basis. And of course, as I said, it's recession-proof. No matter how lousy things get, companies come and companies go, but the government is here to stay. The buying volume is unbelievable through GSA schedules. Once you have a GSA contract, the government can more easily buy from you. And there are some examples of the money the government spends through its GSA contracts. I mean, you look at IT services, a little over $16 billion, marketing and advertising, $520 million. I mean, you can see the list, and this list is not complete. These are just some of the things that they buy and the money they spent in 2007. And they literally do buy everything. Well, almost everything. Now, what's the goal of having a GSA contract? In theory, if you go to GSA 101, the theory is GSA contracts bring the advantages of volume buying that happens B2B to the federal government. And it's sort of ironic that the one entity that can print money is the one that wants the best deal. Who knew? So, anyway, the emphasis on your commercial, not your federal sales history. They want to know basically how much you sold in the non-federal marketplace. But if you've only sold federal, that's fine too. How do they define commercial? Well, everything is pretty obvious. Commercial is commercial. I mean, if you sell to her or she sells to him right over there, that's a commercial sale. But if you are a subcontractor to someone, say like Northrop Grumman, that's considered commercial work. Even though Northrop Grumman got its money from the feds, you as a sub are dealing with a commercial company. So that's considered commercial past performance. I know this is really esoteric, but I'm trying to give you a feel for how they think and how to set this up. So anyway, you can see that commercial has a pretty broad connotation. Why do federal agencies use GSA contracts? You can see the bullet points there, folks. It speeds the acquisition process. Look, when I was a buyer over at Wright-Patterson, if we wanted to buy it, and I'm wearing this thing, but I'm not using the mic. I guess everybody can hear me okay. So this is just for show. Oh. Anyway, when I was a buyer at Wright-Patterson, and we wanted to buy something, we had to do a sources sought, which meant go out on the street, find companies that maybe did what we needed, get some information about them, send people out because we'd never heard of them, do a pre-award survey. It was a very long, laborious process. But once you have a GSA contract, everything about your company has been vetted. Your past performance, your accounting system, your management team, the goods and services you're selling, it's all checked out. So the government doesn't have to go and do these sorts of pre-award surveys. You're already vetted, including your prices. It also satisfies the need for competition. I mean, rule one in the government is you're supposed to compete requirements, always, as much as possible. And because these GSA contracts are public, and there are many, many, many vendors with GSA contract, who are GSA contract holders, the requirement for competition is satisfied. So this actually, can you believe this? We not only have our power back mostly, but the government is more efficient. Who knew? So, anything, the prices, rates are all pre-negotiated. So, when a requirement comes out from a federal agency, and you say, hey, I have a GSA contract, they go, outstanding. Because now, A, we know you're okay, B, your rates are fixed. We don't have to negotiate any rates, they're there in black and white. Ta-da! Now they mix that with the regular, say you need a tech proposal for this requirement, so they mix the standard solicitation requirements with the stuff that's already negotiated, voila, you have a contract. Okay, things to note about GSA contracts. You're going to hear the word GSA schedule, GSA contract. People use them interchangeably. They're not really the same thing, but the lexicon has gotten to the point where they're used interchangeably. We've already been through the point about you're being vetted. You can compete easily against other companies for federal contract sales. You end up on a great big electronic mall called GSA Advantage along with other companies. You're there, they're there, you're visible. The government knows about you. Government agencies from all around the world can go to GSA Advantage and there you are, front and center. And people say, well, I'm an 8A company, or I'm a woman-owned company, or I'm a service-disabled veteran-owned company. Will that help me get a GSA schedule? No. It's merely noted. But those statuses will help you perhaps later on acquire work. If you have a GSA contract and you're an 8A, or if you have a GSA contract and you're a service-disabled veteran-owned company, the combination will help you get contracts. How long does this take? That's probably a question we hear more than any other question. A short time or a long time? A couple months, 6 months, depends on a lot of factors, including the PCO, the workload, and so forth. Okay, more about this. It's a 5-year renewable contract, so it's good for 5 years. What are the requirements? Well, you have to make sales. Once you have your GSA contract, you can't just sit on it and go, I have a GSA contract. Well, bully for you. You need to sell $25,000 worth of goods and services in the first year and $25K per year after that, or they'll pull your schedule. Now, some people get these so they can sell to the state, Columbus, and they forget that they have to also make federal sales. Oops. So we've had clients who have lost their existing federal schedules because all they did was sell to the state. They won't do that again. Yes?
Is that 25K in federal sales or just 25K in sales?
That's $25K that was chalked up to your GSA contract. So if you, good question actually, if you sell to the federal government and you have a GSA contract, you want to make sure that the federal agency uses that schedule so that those sales can be chalked up to that, to your contract.